Kissed, 1996, a Canadian art movie about a necrophiliac woman. I think it's one of those movies that, because of the subject matter, which is rare and it appeals to a certain gothic sensibility, that the handful of people who will see this movie will perhaps have a tendency towards overrating it. I say that mainly because I've read some good reviews of the movie. It has, within certain circles, I guess, a pretty decent reputation. I saw a video review online and someone said that it was their second favourite movie of all time, which is ridiculous to me personally because I really don't think the movie's very good. It's not a bad movie, but it's certainly not good. It has many deficiencies. There is a lot not to like about it. It doesn't really explore its subject matter or its characters all that much, and it's very uneventful. Not a great deal really happens. There are certain dramatic, obvious, perhaps even cliched directions the story could go in, and it doesn't go that direction, and it stays quite restrained, undramatic, underdramatised, and it doesn't really develop any strong plot. That's possibly a conscious decision, and it's the art movie version of the story. It doesn't go in for any big theoretical acting or anything, or any big story developments, but it does feel rather underdeveloped. The movie is only 76 minutes. I have no idea about its actual production history, but the version I saw on Amazon Prime in the UK looked like a 16mm print, and it was in full screen with the black pillar bars on the side of the screen. So it very much looks low budget. It does appear to have been made for a few bucks, and the scale of the production is small, and the full screen looked correct. There was no sense that the sides had been cut off. The framing of the shots looked correct. It does look very cheap, and it does look as though they did not have much money to spend, and the script is quite self-consciously small. So I really didn't think the movie did much with what it had. This fascinating story, which is apparently actually based on a real life case. I think in 1978 a woman stole a corpse. She was driving a hearse and she just decided, you know what, I'm going to actually just drive off with this corpse and do what a necrophiliac would do. And bizarrely in Canada at the time, I think it was a Canadian case, and at the time there was no law against sex with dead bodies, so she was only arrested and charged with actual crimes that exist, and she got something like 11 days in prison for interfering with a funeral. Anyway, the point is, the movie doesn't really go anywhere or do much with it, and it's very underwhelming. My main problem is that I don't mind so much that there isn't a lot of actual story. I mean, I would have preferred it if there was a blackmail storyline, or she has to murder someone in order to cover up her activities, or she starts to lose her mind and she starts, going actual crazy. But as I said, that's maybe the Hollywood version of it, and the movie perhaps actually is, to its benefit, rather small focused, really just on her relationship with the lead character, the lead male character. And I think to me that's actually where the movie falls apart, because the characters as written and as acted are just, both of them are not interesting. I don't understand why the characters do what they do. It's almost as though there's missing scenes in between all the scenes we do see, because there seems to be these weird jumps in logic and jumps in the position of their relationship. Things seem to change from scene to scene. She suddenly, from out of nowhere, very quickly admits to him, "Oh yes, by the way, I'm sleeping with dead bodies," and he doesn't really react much to that. And then suddenly he's fascinated by it, and then he wants to get involved. He himself says, "Oh, I want to have sex with dead bodies as well," and it ends with suicide. And I just don't see how that character got to that stage. Why is he committing suicide? What's the point? What is he going to achieve by doing this? I I did not follow or believe in the logic of the characters. There was not enough context, in my opinion, and it was all rather unsatisfying and underwhelming, and I just didn't really find the movie to be all that interesting, because the characters are not that interesting and there is not much actual discernible plot, really. Not a hell of a lot actually happens. I didn't mind the movie, but it wasn't exactly entertaining, and even at 76 minutes it was slightly over long. There's quite a lot of, like, maybe 10 or 15 minutes of her growing up, which I think women might understand those sequences better, might get more out of them, because it's all about really her strange teenage interests. I think the movie could have been much better. It was certainly not bad, but it was not as good as it could have been. I would give it 4 out of 10. And to be honest, I can see and understand why it has become an obscure movie that is little discussed and hard to find, because it's just a bit bland